falls out of it, it builds up in the bottom, that's what shorts it out. Could that be some kind of older?
I don't know the answer to that. I do know that when you have heavy acids and heavy alkalis, it impedes the process, because I can't do the same thing with a hydrogen device that's filled with sodium hydroxide. Okay? For some reason, I can't do it. I've got to use the straight, I've got to use the water and the substances that I want to multiply. Okay? I tried it with the sodium hydroxide, and sulfuric acid inhibits the process too. So, can anybody see the, can you guys see the potential to this? Yes? Yeah.
What we're now entering is what our minds are actually conscious creators of this physical reality. And thought is energy. And thought can be directed in.
See, I have no problem with the idea that our minds are the conscious creators of this reality. There is a level of energy density that you have to acknowledge. I can use my mind to control the direction that a photon goes, but Frank, we can't get into this conversation here. We've had this one before, so we can't get into it here. Okay. Like I said, this is one of the most important things that I've ever presented here, because of where this could go, and I hope that people kind of grasp the implications of it. Since I've been talking for, how long have I been talking for? Oh, okay, 10. Okay, great. That gives me plenty of time to finish up here and then go into consciousness. As a summary, this is very important. The indexing nature of Brown's gas allows us to get more heat output, or more heat to get more heat for input than normal. So if we're putting in 1,000 watts from 1,000 watts from a solar panel, we can multiply our energy density by using water, and we can run a 5,000 watt generator. Okay. Hydrogen in general, and Brown's gas in particular, solves many problems of the power and generation industry. I don't have to tell anybody here that we could solve all power generation problems on this planet using hydrogen. I mean, they're already starting to do it in the Philippines with my buddy's device. It's just a matter of scale. Okay? By connecting our systems, we can minimize the power and time use. So if I'm heating that thing that's going around there, I can use it to heat my house at the same time as I'm making a ruby or making gold, and I can do it all with energy that is manifesting or multiplying elements. Hydrogen is the key to financial independence. If you are going to go underground, or if you're going to set yourself up in a system where you're self-sufficient or independent of outside input, hydrogen is one of the most important keys to that. And I actually have a video about that too, or a video sort of dealing with that. Without selling any technology or destructing the dominant paradigm, we can use a nearly free energy system to fuel our lives and overcome any limitation. We don't need to go out and endanger ourselves saying, I've got free energy, or I've got over unity, or I've got the answer. I can change the dominant paradigm in the world, and no, I'm not interested in collapsing the financial system of the planet. I don't want the people that will die. I don't want their lives on my hands. And the final step is to jump feet first into the future. We have to explore this. I challenge every one of you who may be thinking that it's nuts. I challenge you to try it, okay? Because that's really what it comes down to. I have a real serious problem. I have the ability to say the exact wrong thing at the wrong time, okay? But in retrospect, it's the exact right thing and what needed to be said. It's just something that maybe the person didn't want to hear. So I challenge everybody to try this. I was challenged to do the hydrogen, and it's even a funnier story than I told you, but I was challenged to do the hydrogen, and I didn't think it was going to work, but it ended up working. Because everybody, including, like I put up Knowledge Publications and Roy McAllister's group, they told me that I was crazy and it wouldn't work. They told me that everything that I do with engines was a fallacy. So that's really interesting because it's now been working for 5 years, going on 6, and it still works. So just something to think about. So anyway, how long have I been talking? John, how long have I been recording? Do you guys want to hear about global paradigms, or you guys want to quit for the day? Okay, all right. All right. Like I said, my perspective is how do you survive into anything? John, could you cue up video number 5, please? Appreciate that. Not that one. No, not that one. Maybe it's video number 6. I apologize. My bad. No, next one. Oh, you didn't queue it up. It's in the file folder. It's the one at that one right there. Uh-oh. I guess this is why you want it 3 weeks in advance, huh? Okay. Can you hit play? See what happens? Okay. Okay, close that and say open with, and let's see what our options are. Open with, right click on number 4 or number 6. Open with, and try QuickTime Player or Media Center, whichever one. Yeah, try that. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. Okay, anyway, this is a video, and you can find it on YouTube. It's called Open Source one more. Let's try QuickTime Player. Try that one and see. Nope, never mind. Okay, forget it. This is a group out of Missouri that has dedicated itself to creating an open source paradigm that allows people to explore, that allows people to build up a community that is not going to be dependent upon the rest of the world. And they've created tractors, multi-purpose tractors. They've created rammed earth building machines, and they've released all this stuff out on the net. You can buy it from them for 1/8 the cost. You can make it for 1/10 the cost, or you can and you can download all the information and all the technology for free. I gave them a piece of I gave them some designs for hydrogen technology, and they're incorporating it into their cutting tables and their fabrication. So it's all open source, and it's all out there so that anyone can use it. Yeah, thank you. Open source civilization building kit. And it's really neat because their goal is to have 50 machines by the end of this year, and the hydrogen is going to be incorporated into it because it can boost all of their engines, it can boost all of their they're going to use it in their cutting tables. This is something that I think everybody should check out, and it's really exciting. There's a very interesting book, and I'll try and find the name of it. I heard about it on NPR. Excuse me, but basically civilization can be described as a never-ending cycle of expansion and contraction, all right? And you can track this throughout history. The Sumerian Empire expanded and contracted by falling apart. The Egyptian Empire expanded and eventually contracted and collapsed. China expanded, and it goes through these fluctuations, and it's still around, amazingly enough, because most Western civilizations do not. Greece expanded and contracted, fell apart. Rome expanded. And what you will find is that every single time a civilization expands, if they are to exist in this state of expansion, they must adopt a new paradigm, a new way of thinking and behaving. If they do not adopt a new paradigm that supports this level, they will collapse and implode on themselves. This is not an opinion. This has been reproduced throughout history, time and time again. Okay? Even England expanded. They adopted a new paradigm, let go of all their colonies, and returned to their central core because they couldn't handle the expansion. They went back to where they were. They didn't collapse, but they stayed. They went back to where they were before. As we expand in this global civilization, we can feel it all the time. America has gone through many expansions. We expanded at World War II. We went from being an agricultural-based country to being an industrial-based country, okay? Because we expanded and people could not live in the agricultural society anymore. They wanted better houses, they wanted the industry, and so we became an industrial-based society. We had a psychological and political expansion in the 60s and 70s. Ideas are not, it's not just the expansion of territory, of empire, it's an expansion of ideas. And so in the 60s and 70s, we had this expansion of ideas, and we had to adopt a new paradigm, a new way of being. We could not live in the McCarthy era. We could not live the way we had up until that point. We had to adopt a new paradigm of existence. We are in the process of an expansion right now, an expansion of technology, okay? We are, and those of us here, we feel it. It's like we're on the edge of a bubble. I was talking to my friend Nassim Haramein. He's like, yeah, we're like stuck on the edge of the bubble and we can feel every shift and all these people are pushing against us. And the people in the middle of the bubble are like, it's feeling kind of hot in here. What's going on? Oh boy, I'm going to get my iPod and play games and stuff like that. You can't eat your iPod, okay? So we're out here, we're feeling all these expansion, and we're the ones that are like trying to push out and say, where can we go? What can we do? But in order to survive this expansion that we're in, we must adopt a new paradigm. And if we can't adopt a new paradigm, we have to find another way of survival. And so what I've actually done today is I've talked a lot about the type of survival that we're going to have to experience, like political expansion, religious expansion, sociological expansion, ideological expansion, and technological expansion. All of these, we have experienced these expansions in our own lifetime. How many people have had to adopt or change their political viewpoints in order to just not get, completely crushed in this world? How many people have had to excuse me, evaluate their religious beliefs or their sociological behaviors? How many people behave the same way their parents behaved in male-female interactions and stuff like that? Ideological and technological, and we see this every day with stem cell research and that type of deal, as well as our technological expansion that we're experiencing here at this conference. So all of these are very important to analyze as we expand into a new paradigm. We have to adapt. Adaptation is a key to all survival. Adaptation of self. I have to make myself stronger, I have to make myself more intelligent, I have to expand my knowledge base. Okay, thank you. Adaptation of environment is my house. Like I live in the mountains, but we have to build our houses to withstand hurricane force winds because the winds can be so bad. We have to build our houses to withstand 140 mile per hour winds. So our environment, how can we adapt our environment? How can we adapt our technology? This is an adaptation of technology that allows us to move into a new paradigm. And finally, we have to adapt our behavior. We throw away 50% of our food that is produced. If every one of you never threw away another item that you bought and found a way to use it, we wouldn't adjust the global paradigm, but we would adjust something inside of ourselves. We would say that we are looking, I'm not just talking about food, I'm talking about plastics and recycling and all that. We'd say we find that personal comfort and personal ease is more important, or excuse me, is less important than being conscientious about how we live, how we act, how we behave. We all drove here in some way. Okay, we're all polluting in some way getting here. We've got these lights and all that, and he did put up LED lights, which uses less power than one of these things. But we're still using. So how do we give back to that? How do we give back from that? So we have to find ways to adapt our behavior in order to survive in this new paradigm that we're moving into. So that is my lecture. Thank you very much for your time and energy. I hope that we had a good time. So thank you.